The prosecutor said the question is, did Elizabeth Broderick commit murder? The answer, Carrie Wells said, is yes.
The fact is, she ambushed them. That's what she did. She snuck in on them. And before they had a chance to say anything, before they had a chance to do anything to protect themselves, she blew them away. This was an execution. This was a double execution.
Wells said Elizabeth's pulling the phone out of the wall after she shot Dan and Linda showed clear intent.
And why does she do that? Her own words that she said to her daughter Lee were, quote, so he couldn't save himself. That act is about as cold and deliberate and intentional as they come.
And Wells said it was also clear that the murders were premeditated. She pointed to the threats Elizabeth Broderick made 3 years before the murders in messages left on Dan Broderick's phone machine.
I have very important things to ask you. You're making me mad. I'll kill you.
This is not someone who is submissive and scared and beaten down. This is a demanding, aggressive, angry, vulgar, vicious woman.
And finally, she said it was clear that the jury should find Elizabeth Broderick guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
The law does not allow people to charge into other people's homes with loaded guns to confront them, catch them totally off guard, unprotected, helpless, and kill them both, and then say, but gosh, I didn't really mean to do it. I shouldn't be responsible. She's responsible for murder, period.
But Broderick's attorney, as he did through this trial, again today painted the accused woman as the victim.
Because she wanted some kind of family life. She wanted some kind of love, some kind of tenderness for her and the children.
Jack Early said Dan Broderick had forced his ex-wife's hand through years of torment.
And in fact, when the affair is finally divulged, what does he do? Does he go and say, yes, I did something bad. I broke a confidence. This is something that we don't do to people that we love and people that we're committed to. Did he do that? No. He said, you're nuts. You need to be committed.
Early also said to think that Broderick's actions were premeditated, those of a clear and concise thinking person, was insanity itself.
What she did, how she did it, what she followed with, the feelings and the emotions that were around, is that the emotions of a rational person premeditating and deliberating, making deliberate choices?
Both sides now having been heard for one last time, the jury is expected to start deliberating tomorrow. Lorraine Kimmel, News 8, downtown.
We are unable to reach a unanimous decision between murder and manslaughter for Dan or Linda Broderick.
After 4 days of deliberation, the 6-man, 6-woman jury called it quits. Unable to reach a unanimous verdict, they told the court no amount of further deliberation or help would resolve the problem. Elizabeth Broderick showed no apparent reaction other than a deep sigh.
She's not relieved at the prospect that this has to go, has to go forward again.
I'm disappointed. I thought the evidence supported a verdict and was hoping for a verdict, so I'm disappointed.
Broderick had been accused of first-degree murder in the shooting deaths of her ex-husband Daniel and his new wife Linda last November. But it appeared that the jury couldn't decide whether it was murder or manslaughter. The nearly month-long trial was one of the most talked about and written about, attracting the curious to line up every day outside for a seat in the small courtroom. It had everything a human drama could imagine: love, divorce, money, flashy cars, supposed love affairs, and expensive homes. But through it all, the prosecutor maintained it all boiled down to one thing: premeditated murder.
This case, to put it in the simplest possible terms, is about hate and revenge and murder.
But the defense argued that Elizabeth Broderick suffered mental abuse and torture during a 4-year divorce battle with Daniel, that she was cheated out of her fair share of his 7-figure annual income and custody of their children.
He was telling people I was crazy. I went crazy. I was like this, and you see pictures of me like this, like I'm some kind of an electrified, crazy person.
And although she admits to the shootings, she never gave the court a clear picture of what really happened November 5th.
I went into the room to talk to them or to wake them up or something, and they moved and I moved and it was over. I remember the real loud noise. times.
Both sides admit retrying the case will be tough, including finding another impartial jury to hear it. Marianne Cushy, News 8.
Yes, no, what is the interpretation?